This episode is supported by FX's The Shards, a seductive drama from executive producer Ryan Murphy. Set in 1980s Los Angeles, the series follows a group of glamorous, deeply entangled high school seniors drawn into a life of wealth, beauty, parties, and excess. At its center is Brett, whose reality begins to unravel when the arrival of a new student coincides with a series of mysterious murders. FX's The Shards premieres August 5th on FX and Hulu.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Listening to this podcast instead of doom scrolling? Smart move. Another smart move? Getting help from one of State Farm's 19,000 local agents when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Electricast.
Just so much of what we've been saying this entire session is about the kindness and the heart of the film. And to know that even a smidge of that is gone from this world, which needs it so desperately, makes the loss of him even worse.
Welcome to episode 309 of Film Generations, where two guys from the 20th century select a classic movie to show to a panel of young film lovers and see if it still plays for today's generation. I'm Mark Netter. I'm an instructor at the Los Angeles Film School, co-founder and CEO of Electricast Media, and one-time filmmaker.
I'm David Tausik. I directed feature films in the 20th century when we shot with big cameras, edited on moviolas, and had to decide in advance which takes the lab would print.
I'm Jake Flowers. I'm a graduate of the Los Angeles Film School.
I'm Guy Lewis, a graduate of the Los Angeles Film School, and I love movies.
Hi, I'm Kylee LaRue. I'm an aspiring film journalist, and I think everybody should watch Sorry Baby this year.
This episode, we take a look on the bright side and celebrate true love with a dash of satire. Back in December, Hollywood unexpectedly lost a beloved filmmaker, actor, and human rights advocate, Rob Reiner, along with his wife, Michelle. It's hard to overstate how much Rob Reiner meant to our industry town and how much his work still means to fans. In tribute, David and I chose arguably his most cherished movie, a family favorite that's both a classic fairy tale as well as a very funny send-up of fairy tales. Adapted from his novel by William Goldman, who we've already celebrated this season for his All the President's Men screenplay. From 1987, it's director Rob Reiner's The Princess Bride. Introducing Robin Wright in the title role as Princess Buttercup and starring Cary Elwes as Wesley, the farmhand turned pirate that she loves. This story within a story is framed by a grandfather, played by Peter Falk, reading an old book to his initially reluctant grandson, who gradually warms to the tale of Wesley's quest to save Buttercup from a loveless marriage to the evil Prince Humperdinck. From the cliffs of insanity to the fire swamp to the pit of despair, Wesley faces daunting obstacles as he chases his true love, but collects a couple loyal companions along the way. Inigo Montoya, a Spanish swordsman bent on revenge, played by Mandy Patinkin, and the good-hearted Fezzik, a landmass of a man, played by Andre the Giant. So, did our panel of young film lawyers... Don't sue me.
I object.
So did our panel of young film lovers fall for this oddball combination of romance, swashbuckling, and comedy, or did they find it inconceivable, if I'm using that word correctly? Well, let's open the book and find out. Now, normally I ask this question a completely different way, but was this anyone's first time seeing The Princess Diaries?
Princess Bride.
Princess Bride.
Oh, my God. With Anne Hathaway.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, I watched the wrong movie.
I love Julie Andrews, so that's all I'm saying. Was this anyone's first time seeing The Princess Bride?
No.
No.
I remember I saw it when I was maybe in like third or fourth grade, and I just was obsessed with it. My parents were like, we need to sit down and watch this. Me and my brother were both finally old enough to see it and like it. And yeah, we just been obsessed. And my parents are obsessed with it since they were little kids. My grandparents were all obsessed with it. And then I've probably seen this movie 2 times a year, every year for the last 15. It makes me cry every time. I love it, and I'm just absolutely enamored with this movie from start to finish, and I can never turn away from it.
So, when do you cry?
When she asks Farm Boy to get the water pitcher, that's my first time I cry. I cry immediately right there.
Right in the beginning.
Oh, yeah. And then the last time I watched it, I cried a bunch because it was right after Rob Reiner passed. So this is my second time watching it in a month. But yeah, I cry every time it's sweet, every time it's gentle, every time I see friendship, every time I see people helping each other. It's just a movie that's just so kind, and you can't help but cry because it's like, oh, I love how kind everybody is. It's beautiful.
Okay, now for someone who's seen that movie that many times, which is the line that you use most in everyday life?
In everyday life, besides As You Wish, 'cause that's just too easy, I guess it would be, I mean, how embarrassing it is, but I say, my name is Inigo Montoya, you killed my father, prepare to die, like, to myself all the time. Like, when I get ready for things, when I'm having fun, or when my little brother and I would pretend to fight, we would just say that to each other back and forth. It's a line that I've just never, ever been able to not say. It means so much, but I don't know. It's just a movie that's imprinted on me at this point, so, yeah.
Wow. Guy, what about you?
I've never cried at The Princess Bride.
No!
Not even a little?
No, okay, so after high school, I was dating this girl, and it was like such a big deal that you've never seen The Princess Bride? Right? And so, like, one day we saw it, and then, you know, I really liked the girl, and so everything was kind of just real.
So you pretended to like the movie?
No, actually not. It was a period in my life where I was like in love. And so, you know, everything was like kind of just real mushy. And
That's going to make me cry already.
and so it was like really apparent that I was actually supposed to be her Wesley. And that is something that nobody can ever really accomplish.
Hard to live
yes,
up
we
to.
broke up.
Oh,
So,
okay.
And
have you seen
then
it?
after that, I saw it again because, you know, I'm a movie person, and I don't know if I was in a relationship or not, but when she goes, "I died that day," that's the line that stuck out the most to me. And even now, to hear her do that line and talk about how, you know, she died inside, it brings up every breakup that I've ever had in my whole entire life. And I'm kind of like stuck in that moment for a while, you know, but in a good way.
Okay, how'd you feel about watching it this time?
Oh, when we lose these legends, you know, it's just really, you know, who's gonna make the next epic, kid-friendly, adult, wedding-themed, romantic comedy next, right? You know what I mean? When's the last real romantic comedy that is accessible through men, women, gay, straight, black, white, orange, green, broke, rich? You know, who's the last person that done that? And Rob Reiner was one of the answers to that question. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of just really just heartbreaking to lose these legends and lose these great storytellers, and then look and see what's left. You know what I mean? And there's some still hope out there. It's not all doom and gloom, but, you know, you just kind of just think about it.
I was watching these extras that came with the disc that I had. The 25th anniversary, just meeting at Rob Reiner's house in his study with Robin Wright, Carrie Elways, and Rob Reiner. And they're telling stories. It's very funny, very adorable, and it's great. You can see their chemistry, the three of them. And at the end, he says, okay, well, let's do this again in 25 years. And I was like, right to the heart.
That's what I watched too, the Criterion, that one. Yeah, I cried again.
Jake, what about you?
It was definitely a childhood movie for me. My mom was a big 80s movie buff, so I got to see a lot of good movies, but she was always quoting it, and I guess I just wasn't putting, like, her quotes to the movie. I was like, my mom's weird and says weird shit. But she would quote this so frequently that, like, once I finally saw the movie in elementary school, I was like, oh, this is where she gets her humor from. And my favorite line is when the old lady goes, boo, boo, boo. That's the one that I always quote.
I love that.
Did your mother
Like
have...
if I'm at a drag show or something. Boo, boo.
Did your mother have one line that was like a regular?
She would just always say, as you wish, or she would, like, pretend she was rolling down the hill. We would laugh so hard.
Nice, nice. I hear have fun
Yeah.
storming the castle is a big one for people.
Yeah.
Now, David, you and I were both in our, I hope I'm not outing you here, in our 20s when it came out. Did you see it in the movie theater?
I did, yeah. I saw it in a movie theater. Rob Reiner had made Spinal Tap and Stand By Me already, so I wanted to see his new film. It was just as I was starting on my own professional filmmaking career, such as it was. And it was not the kind of film that I ever saw myself making. The films I paid really close attention to were films by directors that I wanted to emulate. And I thought he was really a good filmmaker, but it was never something that I wanted to emulate. I just enjoyed it for what it was, which is a really fun movie.
What was it like this time watching it?
The same, but better. I think it's aged well because I don't think I've seen it for 30 years. And I didn't know, it was going to be as good as I remembered it. And I thought it was just as good as I remembered it, maybe better. It's a beautiful film.
Any favorite line for you from the movie?
So I love the way Peter Falk says, "As you wish," at the end. That's my favorite time that the "as you wish" line is used. Because as a love story, it's a little not serious. Like, it's hard to take Buttercup and Carrie Elwes seriously because, they don't know each other. Or they're in love, okay. I mean, they're both so beautiful. They're both so perfect. But it's not a real love story, in my view. A real love story has a little more difficulty and grit or something to it. But I really did believe in the love story between the grandfather and the grandson because the kid really does resist. And I love Peter Falk's performance. And I just thought him, saying, no, you're not going to play a video game. You're going to get into the story. I'm going to teach you something about books. I love that.
Yeah, I thought the real love story was between especially this last time I watched it, right? Narratively, the way they go from farm boy to pirate to, he's got to save the day and all that kind of stuff, it's kind of contrived without the overarching wraparound story.
Yeah.
That to me was the story, not the,
Maybe that's the grown-up story. Maybe the other one is more for kids.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel like it shows a lot of different types of love, like the platonic love between Fezzik and Inigo. Like, they have each other's back, they defend each other, they're always here in each other's time of need in their really weird circumstances. So for me, I just feel like it's just a movie about frivolous love, about true love, about friendship love, and just about kindness to each other. And even Buttercup and, I forget his name, like the Prince Humperdinck's dad, the king, how nice he is to her. And how he sees her and appreciates her in those different weird ways. And it just shows like all different types of facets of love. And the movie's too short to, I think, make everything super complex. But it does just enough to show you like the really good meat of like just simple acts of love and the big dramatic acts of love.
Yeah, because the Inigo Montoya thing is basically about a guy who lost his father that he loves. And he's trying to somehow get some
Revenge.
satisfaction, put it at rest. So I admit I did not see this movie when it came out, which, is probably because I felt like I was too cool for school. And, it was probably a year after Blue Velvet. I mean, I wasn't going to go see that. And eventually I saw it on VHS, and I remember thinking it was funny. And I think at the time I really liked Billy Crystal, so I liked his scenes a lot and things like that. This time, I just really appreciated the movie, and I really appreciated its longevity. When my kids were young, because my boys are now 26 and 23, figuring out what you're going to do with kids on weekends is like a form of hell. And part of it is like having to take them to see kid movies, which I would always fall asleep in because I found them like not my cup of tea. I was kind of over it. So to see something like this that is funny for adults, and yet I'm sure when you guys were kids, you weren't getting like the Jewish humor or some of the elements that would make a grown-up laugh. So I really appreciate it. I was trying to think if there's any movie since The Wizard of Oz that's been a family movie with this kind of staying power.
Shrek?
Shrek, that's a good one.
Yeah, Shrek.
The Wiz, and I'm not speaking for the black community, but Every black family's seen The Wiz, and they either super love it or all the children are traumatized.
That's like The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
In some ways, my favorite moment is when Inigo Montoya finally confronts the evil count, played by Christopher Guest from Spinal Tap. And he says his line, you know, I'm Inigo Montoya, I killed my father, prepare to die. And it cuts to Christopher Guest, and he just turns and runs.
Yeah.
It was just this great moment of undercutting the most evil character in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think kind of goes to our sense of justice, or at least my sense of justice, you know?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think it's so funny too because that's where it's like so adult. Because like, what's this guy gonna do? Like, there's actually a grown man in front of him trying to kill him. Like, he just wants to get away. Like, duh. Like, he's not gonna fight right there. Like, he's like, I have to go and figure this out. I need some time. So he just spends.
All right, characters. Come on, favorite characters. Let's go around the horn. Jake, you first.
Inigo. I'm sure we'll touch on this later, but as a kid, it was not often that I saw films or had lived experience of like male presence being vulnerable and holding a lot of honor and like dignity and loyalty. And it made me like fall in love with his character as a kid and just have this like affinity for him. When Wesley's climbing up the cliff and they're just like being bros, I was like, oh, he's so sweet. And so I just always loved how like vulnerable yet still like an honorable man he was, you know.
Oh my God, I love that. Kylie, what about you?
Inigo as well. I think the first time that I thought he was just so cool was because when Vizzini was being mean to Fezzik on the boat, he's just so kind. He's been so hurt, he just can't help being unkind to anybody else.
Not that rhyming again. They do it again. Guy, what about you?
See, I don't like this question.
Yeah.
There's so many. No, seriously, like this one sucks because like minus Buttercup, which I kind of think I haven't forgave Jenny for Forrest Gump, which is why Buttercup. You know what I'm saying? But okay.
Okay,
all right,
it's just
whatever.
an actress playing those two roles.
But yeah, just it's Jenny's fault. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? That's all that's about. But
How about this? Is there a performance that you would want to note as being particularly special to you?
Vizzini, you know what I'm saying? His that whole thing, but also Andre. I remember I used to watch wrestling when I was coming up, and you'd see Andre the Giant. You know what I mean? And Andre the Giant was beloved. You know what I mean? He was like the biggest person alive. You know what I'm saying? The bigger than Hulk Hogan. You know what I mean? Pretty freaking cool. Inigo, but also Humperdinck. His voice, his confidence, his swagger, the level of evilness. I don't know how to say that word right, but you know how evil he was.
Villainy.
Yeah, villain. I don't like that one either.
Villainous.
Villainous. That's not really.
Well, he's
whatever.
actually planning to kill his wife on their wedding night, right?
Yes, which is diabolical. You know what I'm saying? But then, like, also Billy Crystal, whenever he's on camera, he's pretty much amazing. And then, you know, Carrie Ellis. My favorite Carrie Ellis is, you know, Saw, Men in Tights. He was just a good-looking guy in this one. He wasn't. But then also that sword fight with him and Inigo, right? I mean, it was just
Amazing.
Yeah, that's
it might be one of the greatest fights. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe not. It's not John Wick like, but kinda. You know what I'm saying? You're two badass dudes together going at each other, and it's all about who's the best, and it's.
Guy, I think you love this question actually.
Right.
I want to say something about the sword fight because, again, on the extras, they trained like crazy. They had this old 70-something-year-old sword master who was training them and his assistant. And when they got to the set, you know, Reiner was worried that this would be the hardest thing to shoot. It was like the easiest thing to shoot because these guys were so prepared. And Reiner really wanted Carrie Elwes to look like Douglas Fairbanks from the Silent Zorro, like the Zorro mask on his eyes. And something like John Wick, I think, is a little bit different. But as far as like classic sword fights, like medieval fantasy sword fights. I don't know, it's about as good as anything I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And unbroken takes. I mean, really nice.
Oh, that very first pairing at the beginning, like ting ting ting, which is like, oh, love that part. You know what I'm saying? They stole it in the Zorro remake with Antonio Banderas, which is pretty cool.
David, any character or performance you want to call out?
There's all these great performances in it, which have all been mentioned. I mean, the three villains are great. It's weird that there's three villains, by the way, that they're all really good. You know, Wallace Shawn and Chris Sarandon and Christopher Guest. I love Peter Cook, who plays the clergyman. Who Maui stand me to sell me? You know,
do you know what his character name is? Impressive clergyman.
Yeah.
Right. So all that is, you know, just wonderful, funny stuff. But I think Cary Elwes is underrated. It's so impressive what he does. I mean, he's so friggin' handsome and dashing, and he's funny. He carries that whole part of the movie, and that's a hard thing to do. You know, the others are along for the laughs and the ride, but he makes that whole thing work. He really brings the fairy tale part to it, to me, even more than Robin Wright.
And he underplays.
Yeah, he plays it perfectly. Who wouldn't be in love with him?
I just saw him in the new Gus Van Sant movie, Dead Man's Wire. And
cannot wait to see that.
my wife afterwards was like, what? That was not Cary Elwes. I mean, he's in his 60s now, and he's a good actor. I was impressed.
He's great in Ella Enchanted. I don't know if you guys have seen that one, but he's so good in that one too.
I remember seeing that in the theater.
Well, I'm going to call out Wallace Shawn as well. I remember when the movie came out, I thought, that's hilarious that they put Wallace Shawn in there because it doesn't make sense. He was like a playwright. I think his dad was the editor-in-chief of the New Yorker.
Wow.
You know, he's a New York intellectual. Wow. He did My Dinner with Andre, which is just
I was going to make a Dinner with Andre joke. Damn it. You stole my thunder. Damn
and the other thing, too, is I didn't expect him to die, and I love the way he just falls. Like,
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out what the twist is, and then Wesley goes, like, no, both of the glasses were poisoned. I just built up a tolerance over several years.
Everyone loves that scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A battle of wits.
Yeah, it's great.
We'll be right back with our discussion of The Princess Bride.
Tomorrow morning is knocking. Stock your fridge now. How about a creamy mocha frappuccino drink? Or a sweet vanilla? Smooth caramel, maybe? Or a white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Find Starbucks Frappuccino drinks wherever you buy your groceries.
Chronic migraine is 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine before they start. It's not for those with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It prevents on average 8 to 9 headache days a month versus 6 to 7 for placebo.
Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor, visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com, or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
Let's talk for a second about the visual style of the movie. Is it shot in any way that was striking to anybody? How did you guys feel about the practical effects? Like, you know, the fire swamp? I mean, it looked a little HR puppet stuff to me. I don't know if that reference rings true with anyone.
It's supposed to, right?
No idea who HR Puffin stuff is, but
like a Saturday morning.
I loved it. I love the practical stuff to it because I feel like when you're a kid and you're imagining places that you don't know what they look like, you're trying to just conjure up whatever would be, and sometimes it's just like, it's fake. And when you get to watch, you're like, oh yeah, this is what I would imagine if I was a kid being told these descriptions. I've never been to a fire swamp, so I'm going to imagine it probably in a really fake way. And the obviously painted sets and the fight scene where they're doing the swords, and when they go to do like the loop on the pole, you can see like where the two hands are supposed to go because there's no ivy on the pole, so they can do like the little spin around. And then when they land, you can see the pad. and the pad cushions the fall.
I did not see that.
And again, I've seen the movie so many times, I noticed this, but it's just like, oh, I love it because I'm like, oh, this, you're supposed to believe it but not believe it, but it's fake, but you see it, so you have to believe it. And I think that's part of what makes the movie so magical is it's real and it's fake, and they all go hand in hand in the movie.
Yeah, that's well said. I feel like the movie is sort of grand enough to ignite your imagination, but cheesy enough to, let you laugh at the whole thing and not take it seriously.
I think the way it looks really lends to the fact that the grandfather is telling a bedtime story.
Yeah.
Yep.
I could still suspend my disbelief, but like you were saying, the charm of the sky that doesn't move, the clouds that stay in the same place, and the water that's like, it just like makes it so much sweeter. It almost reminds me of like a stage production.
Yeah.
I felt like I was watching a play or like a puppet show. How the set is like also moving with the characters.
Yeah.
And also, since you just brought up the way it's shot, that's one of the things I was saying about, I wasn't that interested in Rob Reiner as an example of how to direct, because he almost has no style at all. It's almost TV adjacent, the way he shoots the movie. It's a lot of medium shots, except when there's a wide shot to show you the set or whatever. It's not very artistic in a way, but I think that's disarming. I think that helps the film in this case. He's just interested in doing what you need to do to tell the story, and he's not interested in encumbering it with a lot of baggage, look what I can do, look at this great technique or anything like that. The technique is all in just how he handles the performances, how he tells the story in a pretty simple way that allows it to be kind of charming, and it's just right.
Yeah, I don't know that you necessarily remember shots in his movies the way you might with like David Lean or Christopher Nolan or Ridley Scott or somebody, but I think you remember scenes. Whenever I even think about When Harry Met Sally, the first thing I think about is the scene in the Second Avenue Deli. Yeah. Where the punchline is Rob Reiner's mother saying, "I'll have what she's having." I mean, David, you're going to talk about Rob's career, but he had this incredible run for about 10 years that's close to unparalleled in at least modern Hollywood history, where, these days it takes 3 years to make movies if you're any good at all. And I feel like he's like one of the Hollywood directors from the 30s or 40s in the sense that he's able to really reach a large audience.
Real pop culture standouts. Stand By Me, it's a big childhood Gen X movie. The Spinal Tap, that's never gone away. And, you see it everywhere. You see it in The Simpsons. You saw it everywhere, When Harry Met Sally, in my opinion, the greatest rom-com ever made. I'd argue with your mom. That's the way I feel about it. And then number 2 is Love Jones, but that's not Rob Reiner. And then A Few Good Men. I mean, it's like a really incredibly accurate military movie, in my opinion.
Oh, interesting. Well, you're the only one of us who's been in the military, so.
Yeah, and so it's like he can do anything, Rob Reiner.
Yeah.
It's not just one thing. He's everywhere. Pretty badass, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's all true. And the other thing I notice about the movie too is there's not a second wasted. I wouldn't be able to go in there and say okay, here's where I would make a cut, edit this out. I mean, and I loved all the moments where the story gets interrupted and they go back to the father and the grandson.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, exactly.
Was this a kissing book?
I don't know why, but the biggest laugh for me is the ROUSs. When they're talking about the fire and the quicksand, and he's like, well, as long as you don't have the ROUSs, ROUSs, yes, rodents of unusual size. I mean, why do they have an acronym for them? And then there are these cheesy, badly made Muppets or something with teeth. I thought that was great.
What about the rodents of unusual size? Oh, I don't even think those are real.
They their whole body moves. Their heads don't.
This is adapted from a book by William Goldman. Has anyone read the book? No.
No, in
Wow.
fact, nobody has read the book. In fact, it's nobody has ever seen this
Not a
book.
soul.
Rob Reiner read it, and that was it.
Yeah.
No one else needed to.
Yeah. I do think it's one of those really rare occasions where it is just like absolute magic comes together, where the perfect writer had the perfect director that understood each other so succinctly.
Yeah, I agree in that it's so cohesive that it's hard when you're watching it to kind of like separate the two, like you said. Like it feels like one person had this idea and made this story and shot it and did all the things.
Yeah.
Plus the cast, right? Everyone pretty much delivered.
Every idea that's in the movie, I can think of someplace I saw it before. The film isn't really incredibly original. It's just the perfect kind of putting together of all these things into a really great movie. It reminded me a lot of Time Bandits. It reminded me of The Never-Ending Story. Had the same thing of, about the book.
Childhood.
Right. And those movies came before.
Well, this kind of goes to a little bit of tone. Like, how sincere do you think the movie is about true love? Because at the same time, there's so much comedy and satire going on, right? But I guess especially for those of you who have watched it multiple times, is that one of the things that keeps you coming back to it? Like, does it make you believe in true love, or is that just sort of a vehicle for the humor?
I think something that you had mentioned this at the top of the show, the disbelief of how quickly these two characters came together and how little they know about each other. But then, like, in every experience in my walk as an adult, that has been the case in relationships, where you're like, oh my gosh, I think I'm in love with this person. I don't know who the hell they are, though, but I'm gonna fight with them to the ends of the earth. You know what I mean? And so I think maybe this movie influenced me as a child, but watching it again now as a married person, I'm like, it is so sweet and simple, isn't it?
So which one is Buttercup and which one's Wesley? Are you Wesley or are you Buttercup?
Oh, I think we kind of switch off.
So it depends on what's
I'm
going
always
on.
like wondering who's who. No, I'm
Like
just
you're
kidding.
like Buttercup at the grocery store and he's Wesley at the
Like, I want him to be more Wesley, but, sometimes I have to step up,
That bar is high. You know what I'm saying? The Wesley bar is up there. It's not everybody's Wesley.
Yeah, sometimes I find myself in the Wesley shoes, and I'm like, all right, this again.
Oh my God, I think that's true of every marriage. I really do.
Yep.
My parents in every movie ever and every person ever has always said, like, when you know, you know, and that's kind of it. So I feel, even though it happens fast in the movie, it's like, well, yeah, when you know, and that's kind of it. And also the movie keeps saying, like, true love doesn't happen all the time. True love, this is something to fight for because this is so rare. So it tells you, like, when you find something like that, you should fully go in head first and, like, fight for it. But it reminds you that even though this is a fairy tale, like, true love is still special even in fairy tales.
I think, and to your point too, Mark, that the comedy is like somehow intertwined in their true love, When I watched it with my husband this last time, and we were like, this is so us. They're just like so stupid and silly. But she's like, oh, my sweet Wesley, and Jake throws herself down the hill. Like, that would be me. Like, that's what brings me back, not just the true love story, but like also the like dumb humor. It makes it more believable.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, I'm the butt of the joke, like, especially with my kids were growing up, like, a lot of times it's like, oh, Dad, ha, 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 and I think that's all kind of part of it. And I don't know, I may not be a Notebook kind of guy. I may be more of a Princess Bride kind of guy.
I love that.
Does the movie feel big or small in scale?
I feel like it, sets out to be big and then it cuts itself down at the knees every time intentionally. And that's part of the fun of the movie.
Mock epic?
Yeah.
Or travesty?
So you're talking about like
Monty
loftiness
Python and the Holy Grail. It's kind of an epic, but not really.
Yeah, like they're attempting something they definitely can't accomplish, but intentionally.
An epic with BLT jokes, except it's MLT for mutton, lettuce, and tomato.
Yeah.
When the mutton is nice and lean. Yeah. I love all of Billy Crystal's part is just, he's mostly dead.
It's mostly that.
And kind of to like what Kylee was saying earlier, like, is it big or is it small? Like they're doing these epic flips and tricks and they're like landing on a cushioned mat that you can clearly see. You're like, oh my gosh, she's really doing that. Oh wait, this is definitely a soundstage.
Yeah.
It grounds itself.
It keeps undercutting itself. It's like, oh, true love, but I just don't think you take that seriously in this movie. It's fairy tale true love, like from kids' books. But then you get to like the ending and you realize there's been a point to this that sort of is serious, you know, that it's not like a fractured fairy. Do you guys ever see fractured fairy tales? It was like part of Rocky and Bullwinkle. They'd have these fairy tales. At the end, you know, the fairy would fall on the ground and the book would crush them. And you'd be like, okay, it's not really a fairy tale. We don't believe in that stuff. But in the end of this movie, they pull out like a little moment that's really kind of beautiful and kind of is about true love. I thought that was just a wonderful little twist at the end.
So, how do you think the main characters grow or change through this movie, or do they?
The main characters change in like scene 3. Like they have their big change in scene 3. The first one to change is Wesley. He like goes from being like a kind of farm boy who doesn't know anything, who's never seen the world, and he's suddenly this worldly pirate who can do everything. He's incredibly competent. And then Buttercup's change comes when she realizes that he has risked everything for her and that she was wrong to have not had faith in him. That comes really early in the movie, right? And I don't think either of them changes that.
Half hour in, maybe.
Yeah, right.
She thought the guy was dead. How long are you supposed to love somebody after they die? You know, the max is...
Oh, no, I know
10 days. 10 days after the funeral.
A year.
I feel like
wrap it up. You know, let's just keep it moving. There's other people out on planet Earth. You know, so
It's horrible.
So,
oh, look, I wouldn't have waited. You know, because I'm not a person that they make movies about.
you know, you go to a movie. I mean, you go to a funeral. Your spouse dies. You start working the crowd as the casket goes down. Let's get it going. You know,
Oh my God,
so-
this friend of mine's, my friend
Prospects.
of mine's father died, and he's a very well-to-do guy here in LA, and his wife dies, right? And suddenly, there are literally like a dozen women who are bringing food over, like day after day, week after week, basically going through this, you know,
You got to eat.
process.
They just know when you're single.
Yeah.
You got it. You know, it's grieving. You know, it's sad. It's kind of hard to make a sandwich. You know,
Especially
God damn it.
but no, really though. Like she thought Wesley was dead, so she, you know, kind of moved
I
on.
understand,
But
but I'm
like,
just saying,
out,
does she
Humperdinck's
change in any
Law.
way other than to decide that she should, you know, be faithful to him and that she should believe in him no matter what? Is there any other change in her character?
no,
No.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So that's the only change.
right.
So,
But like, but the person who changed the most in this 90 minutes is the grandson.
Agreed.
Grandson, he's the main
biggest
character.
emotional arc.
He is a real person.
You know, so
Who
like
later goes
yes.
on to the Wonder Years and has a great TV career.
Right. Fred Savage has always been like one of my favorite actors of all time. That's another Gen X staple. But did you guys notice how many Santa Claus decorations was in the kids' room? I counted
No.
3 Santas. It started out because I noticed like Captain America and He-Man on the ledge of his bed.
Rob Reiner's cap from Spinal Tap is in there with the Spinal Tap logo on it.
Oh, no
Really?
way.
Wow.
Where?
In the kids'
Never
room.
noticed that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow. I have to say, Spinal Tap was the first thing I watched after Rob Reiner died. It came up on TCM.
Oh.
me too.
And I swear to God, it has not lost any of its humor or appeal.
Good.
So,
Sorry.
I mean, it goes to 11. That's all I can say.
It goes to 11. It goes to 11.
Now, I want to hit something a little contrary. There's been a love fest about Princess Bride. There is a feminist critique of the movie that says that Buttercup is underdeveloped as a character, that it would be different if it were made today, and as I remember, isn't there a scene where he slaps her?
Well, he attempts to.
He like almost does.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Doesn't completely
Nah, he's just like
threaten.
yeah.
Still scary.
Yeah, it's real problematic. Buttercup does not pass the Bechdel test at any point in this movie. You know, she doesn't.
Right.
She doesn't have any agency at all, and so
Right. She's not talking to another woman except for that woman who is in the crowd who's berating her. She's not talking about anything but the man.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But this
Yeah,
is
I
also
think that's
ladies.
true. She is a bit underdeveloped.
I think the film is kind of a throwback to an older time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it intentionally skirted around feminist issues. Because it's not like feminism wasn't a well-developed trope already at the time.
And 10 years ago, you had Star Wars where Princess Leia is rescued and she's like, what took you guys so long? Give me that gun. You know, it was definitely a different kind of princess.
Yeah, this film avoided that, which I found kind of refreshing. I think even in 1987, I was a little sick of everything having to be updated to modern sensibilities that takes place in the past.
I think there's a couple ways that I guess I look at it. Yes, she's totally underdeveloped. I do think it almost has a weird comedic touch to it, especially in the fire swamp where I'm just like, oh girl, oh my God, like do something, like take a bath. It's driving me crazy, but I'm like kind of laughing because she's just like, you guys figure it out, like I'm good. But also to be like, yes, feminism, but also I want to be taken care of. It's this like fantasy for me as a woman to be like, I would love to just like turn my brain off, sit down, and just have all these really beautiful men help me out and just do it for me. Like, just let me like, so it's a way of, I think like too, like I laugh at it and it's funny. And I get that also like, I would want a better character, like idealistically to tell my children how to be a woman, like whatever. It's not that, it's like, it's fun. But also I want some dude to take care of me and to risk his life for me and to prove that he is like, he's worthy for me. So I think there's so many ways you can play it where it can still be positive, and I feel like shitting on Buttercup is the least feminist thing you can do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice defense. And by the way, some notes for your boyfriend.
Period.
Well, my future next boyfriend.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yes.
Every time that I watch it, I see it differently, and the older I get, the different jokes you can get, the different references you get. Then sometimes you're the kid, sometimes maybe one day you'll be the grandpa, and sometimes you're Buttercup, and sometimes you're Fezzik. And I just think it's a beautiful way to see like one story can be so different and you can interpret it in so many different ways. Like I started working at a Jewish deli in high school, so I understood the lean mutton joke, and I was like, oh my gosh, I get it now. It's just so layered and so good where there's so many ways you can rewatch it and it still can be new in these little itty bitty ways, because it was a good story, like should always be told and retold and heard, and it just lives on.
A big part of this story is overcoming adversity in some way and then breaking through, right? And it's done with these rules of three that you see a lot in basic storytelling. So first he has to defeat Inigo, and then he defeats Fezzik, and then finally he defeats the real villain, Vizzini. The framing story is like that too. Fred Savage says, oh, I don't like kissing. I don't want to see kissing. And the second time he says, oh, kissing again. No, I don't like that. And then the third time it's like, well, maybe I'll watch the kissing. You know, Grandpa has kind of managed to mature his grandson in a way, to bring him out of his sort of sleepy childhood into the real world.
I always felt that the grandfather wasn't ever really reading this story. You know, I always felt
He knows
like
it by heart.
Well, yeah,
He was
like
winging it.
he wasn't. Maybe that he knows it by heart, or maybe he's just freestyling the story.
Like he's making it up?
Yeah, like he goes, Wesley's dead, and then the kid goes, no, he can't be dead. Well, he just threw that in there to make sure his grandson's paying attention. It's like how my grandfather used to talk to me. He would kind of screw with me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He would like give me a little bit of misdirection in a loving manner type of way, you know?
I like that. I like all of that. So what's the feeling the movie leaves you with at the end?
It made me feel like, you know, your friends are important, your loved ones are important, but just take adversity, but still lead with kindness.
Perfectly said.
All right. Here's a hard one. If someone were to remake The Princess Bride today,
Nope. Don't do it.
what do you think? Better special effects? Like, is there any way to improve upon it, or would it just be a disaster?
80s remakes all fail, and they all failed horribly.
Yep.
You know, Running Man, Total Recall, anything Schwarzenegger they try to remake, disaster. You don't have to remake The Princess Bride, you know? And remakes are all cash grabs anyway, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you take this and you put fancy CGI on it, you'll just ruin the charm that the movie had. It'll be boring.
Yeah,
when there was
CGI
a rumor of like the remake for Princess Bride, I remember Carrie Ellius, he like tweeted it out and said, "There's a shortage of perfect movies in the world. It would be a shame to ruin this one." And then it just like stopped dead in the water.
Wow.
Just so much of what we've been saying this entire session is about the kindness and the heart of the film. And to know that even a smidge of that is gone from this world, which needs it so desperately, makes the loss of him even worse.
Well said.
Yeah.
All right. I know that we have some research everyone's done. Kylee, can you tell us a little bit about the making of The Princess Bride?
Yeah, they picked Carrie Ellius first because he has the swashbuckler Douglas Fairbanks thing. And before they went to go cast him, they were really worried because they said that he was so pretty, they don't know if he could be funny. And the moment they made him laugh, they were like, oh my gosh, he's hot and funny. This is crazy. And that's like from Bill Goldman and Rob Reiner. I mean, like, floored. And then Robin Wright was the second one they cast. And they went through about 500 girls. And they're just like, no, like none of them are her. And she's like one of the last 10 to read for the part. And they're like, boom, there she is. And then everyone else was just cast because Rob Reiner loved them. And some stories from the set was the first scene that was shot was in the fire swamp. And on the cairns, they kept hearing like weird like murmuring incantations. And they're like, what is it? So they played the audio back. And they heard Bill Goldman off the side praying. And Rob Reiner had to go over to him and be like, what are you doing? What's wrong? He goes, I'm praying because I'm like so nervous about this. He's like, well, you can't do it on set because we can hear you. You need to like go away. And then the second scene they shot was when Princess Buttercup's dress was on fire. And because Bill Goldman was off set praying, he didn't hear the big safety meeting that this is supposed to happen. So he ran into the shot and started screaming, she's on fire, somebody help her, and tried to help put out the fire on her dress. And our Brenner had to be like, hey, remember in the story where you're supposed to catch on fire? Like, don't worry. And from then on, like, it was such a wonderful set. They said that Rob had such a wonderful way of talking to the actors and directing people. And like, even though he's loud and erratic sometimes on camera, he's very gentle when he's directing, and he was just very kind, and everyone felt very comfortable with him. And then one thing that I love was Mandy Patinkin said when the Miracle Max scenes were all happening that Rob Reiner had to just go action and leave because he was laughing so hard from Billy Crystal that he just had to walk away because you could hear him laughing. He was just like, I trust you, I can't be here, I'm gonna ruin every take. And then Mandy Patinkin said he actually had to go to like the set medic because he was like having pain in his side from trying to hold in the laughter. And then like to end it off, like Andre the Giant was obviously like one of the most beloved people on the set. And Christopher Guest would shake his hand every day to feel his hand in like a mitt, as he would call it. And that it was so cold sometimes that Andre would put his hand on Robin Wright's head to keep her warm. And Andre said, it's wonderful because nobody stares at me. And I love it here. It just seemed like just a wonderful set, and every story I saw was positive, and everyone was just so kind and having a great time. So I think that just translates so much to the way that we see it today.
I love that.
I love it.
Jake, what were the times like when this movie came out? It's 1987.
Well, I tried to like get a good picture of like the cultural zeitgeist of the mid to late 80s. And a lot of people were talking about Reagan and tear down that wall and how many blockbusters there were in 87, which was kind of like mind-blowing. A lot of films were like attempting big feats. And I think this movie did so well in 1987 because it had like a simplicity to it. But yeah, just to name a few, like Full Metal Jacket came out in 87, Dirty Dancing, Moonstruck, which is one of my favorites of all time. So just like killer freaking year for film. And yeah, maybe it didn't stand out in particular from the year before and the year after necessarily cultural wise in the US, but the entertainment industry was having a really good boom.
Guy, tell us a little bit about the reception for the movie.
Right. The budget was, what, 16 million, and it pulled in 31, but they still considered it a flop, which is crazy. But this movie also had multiple VHS and DVD and Blu-ray reissues. Roger Ebert gave it 3 stars, and he said one of the funniest and most charming comedies I've seen in a long time. 2 big thumbs up. And that's from Siskel and Ebert. Joel Siegel said it's thrilling, exciting, very funny, and absolute magic. Don't miss it. People Magazine said an instant classic, which is, true. A winner, a high-spirited, delightful film. And that's the same thing that everyone pretty much said.
David, tell us a little bit about the late, great Rob Reiner.
Well, he was born in New York City in 1947. His mother was the actress Estelle Reiner, and his father was Carl Reiner, who wrote alongside Mel Brooks, Neil Simon, and Woody Allen on Sid Caesar's Your Show of Shows. Carl Reiner also created The Dick Van Dyke Show. He directed Steve Martin's earliest films, and he made these records with Mel Brooks called The 2,000-Year-Old Man, where he was kind of the straight man. They were improvised at Norman Lear's house in Fire Island at first. But Rob Reiner went to Beverly Hills High. He spent a couple years at UCLA as a film major, but he dropped out to work as an actor and a writer. And he wrote alongside Steve Martin and Carl Gottlieb on the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour. His big break came from Norman Lear, who, as we already established, was his father's good friend, who cast him as Meathead in All in the Family, which was the top-rated television show for 7 years. So wow. All in the Family was a really, really big deal. It was a remake of a British TV show called Till Death Do Us Part. It was only 5 years after All in the Family ended that Rob Reiner got Spinal Tap together, and then went on a really astounding run of movies where he made a movie pretty much every year. They were all hits, and they were all quite good films. This is Spinal Tap, The Sure Thing, Stand By Me, The Princess Bride in 1987, When Harry Met Sally in 1989, Misery, 1990, A Few Good Men in 1992, and then, we could maybe throw in The American President, 1995, where you start to see a bit of a fall off in quality, which continued for the rest of his directing career. He also founded Castle Rock Productions, which created Seinfeld, and he himself was apparently pretty instrumental in convincing NBC not to drop the show, and the rest is TV history. We all know about the horrible tragedy that happened just last month, which I don't need to go into. You can read about it. He'll really be missed. He was, by all accounts, a very kind person. He was instrumental in getting gay marriage passed in the state of California and other political causes, and was really well beloved inside the community.
We'll be right back with our panel's recommendations and ratings for The Princess Bride.
Experience a membership that backs your business journey with American Express Business Platinum. When you pay with membership rewards points for all or part of an eligible flight booked with a qualifying airline through Amex Travel, you can get 35% of those points back, up to 1 million points back per calendar year. American Express Business Platinum. There's nothing like it. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum.
Did you know Sam's Club isn't a store? It's actually a club. With cool finds and a whole community. It's a club.
Of course, Jason. It's in the name. Sam's Club.
Oh, yeah. Come join us. Sam's Club.
Close your eyes, exhale, feel your body relax, and let go of whatever you're carrying today.
Well, I'm letting go of the worry that I wouldn't get my new contacts in time for this class. I got them delivered free from 1-800-CONTACTS. Oh my gosh, they're so fast.
And breathe.
Oh, sorry. I almost couldn't breathe when I saw the discount they gave me on my first order. Oh, sorry. Namaste.
Visit 1-800-CONTACTS.com today to save on your first order.
1-800-CONTACTS.
I'm going to ask each panelist who they would recommend this movie to and to rate it on a scale of 1 to 4. 4 being an A+, a movie that's not only great, but you could put it on your top 50 list of all time. 3.5 star is an A movie. It's just a great film. 2.5 stars is a good B movie if you like the genre. recommend it. A 2-star movie is a not so great B movie, a B minus. You have to really, really like the genre for that. And everything below that is a real fall off that I don't think we need to address with this particular film. I'm going to start with Jake.
I would recommend this to grumpy people who need to feel a warm hug. I would recommend it to my enemies so that they can, be happier and stop hating. And I would obviously give it a 10.
Well, since we do go to 10.
Sorry.
It's been that long.
I would give it a 4. Sorry. I just started thinking about all my haters and I got distracted.
Guy, what about you?
So everyone, there's something in this film for everyone. Literally, there's if you don't like The Princess Bride, what does that say about you?
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Litmus test.
Yeah, if I met somebody The Princess Bride sucked, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to. No, you're not someone that I should be around. However, I'll give this 2 stars. No, I'm just joking. Just kidding. No,
What, do you think you're a character in the movie? With the jokes?
I mean, do you give this 3.5 or 4? And I can't give it a 4-star, but it's that good. But it's just 3.5 at least. 3.5. Yeah.
3.5 is fantastic.
3.5.
That's an A.
3.5. Yeah.
Kylee.
I mean, no surprise here. If you've gone this far in the recording, obviously I'm gonna give it a 4. Duh. It's in my top 4 in Letterboxd, one of my all favorite of all times. This movie will live and die with me. I love it. But I recommend it to, specifically since I want everyone to see it, parents of young children. I think it is so awesome, and I loved watching it as a kid and with my family and my grandparents, and it became such a family affair. But seeing it young was so pivotal because it made me believe, it made me hope, it made me learn about love, it made me see friendship in such a nice way. So I think it's just a wonderful foundation for children, just to have such a positive outlook on adversity and kindness and friendship and what love could be. Just a wonderful way to start off a kid's movie career.
Nice. David, you and me, the hard-bitten elder cineasts.
The cynical old hard.
It's not Tarkovsky.
It's not Tarkovsky. Thank God. No, I really, really do enjoy this movie. It's a bit magical because, like I said, it's not really that original. I kind of feel like it's bits of everything else. Rob Reiner doesn't show off. There are no pyrotechnics as far as his directing, but it just doesn't matter. It's all in service of the story, the idea. It's a really funny script, and it's just so charming, and there's just nothing wrong with it. It just doesn't quite rise to a 4 for me. It's not quite important and essential and original and biting enough. But you don't need to have those things to be a good movie, and it's an excellent movie. So 3.5, I just recommend it to anybody that can enjoy what seems to be a kid's film, but really is a film for grown-ups. And that's one of my favorite genres, by the way, is films that are supposed to be for kids, but really they're for grown-ups. I love all those films. And Never-Ending Story, I have a problem with because the music and the style of the film are so bad, but it's such a good film otherwise. But Time Bandits, is a film I really love, and this is right up there with that. I'd give both of these 3.5. So I'd recommend it to anybody that can enjoy a good comedy, a good adventure, and a film that doesn't take itself too seriously.
Well said. I really love that this movie's about storytelling. In a weird way, it kind of reminds me of adaptation a little bit. Unreliable narrator type story situation. I think it was Guy, you made the point earlier that maybe the grandfather isn't really reading from the book. Maybe he's making it all up as he goes along. I would recommend it to anybody with young kids because, as I said earlier, it's a nightmare going to kids' movies when you have young kids if there's nothing there for you as an adult. And this one certainly has that. As far as hardcore cineasts, the people that voted for Jean Dielman as the #1 film in the Sight and Sound poll, I don't know if this is for you. But I think for a lot of the other ones, it is. And I also think marketing campaign was not good when it came out. Rob Reiner complained about that over the years. Rob Reiner pitched it to William Goldman. He said, I don't want to change your book. I just want to do your book. And I think it's interesting when somebody has a dream book that they loved and they bring it to life, and when it works, it's just really magical. I was trying to think about what makes this work for me. And I think it is that combination of our movie history or fairy tale knowledge of 1940s movies, which were not spoofs. I mean, some were, but not really quite like this. But also a post-1960s feeling that certainly Rob Reiner is like the ultimate baby boomer, right? And I think it's essentially that there's this little Mad Magazine aspect to it. And for those of us like David, I'm sure you're like me, grew up with Mad Magazine, which took the piss out of everything in a essentially family-friendly way, but had some bite to it. And I feel like that's what makes this movie work for me, and probably work for a lot of other people, is that it does embrace the fairy tale, the true love and all that, but it also has a little bit of the wise guy approach to it that you could only have after the 60s and the 70s. And for that reason, it's a 3.5-star movie for me.
3 3/4 stars.
I think it's a 3.5 then, right?
Well, I mean,
Mark's a purist when it comes to the rating system.
Wait. Do we have 2 4
Generations film. Generation film.
Oh, it's so tight.
We have 1 10-star.
Like, I have to round down to 3.5, but it really did get a 3 3/4 rating. Yeah. It's 2 4 stars.
3.7
does round down.
We're giving it 4. We're giving it 4.
3.75. You're giving it a 4 for us?
Well, I don't. What do you think?
4.
I think in the spirit of the movie.
4. Yeah.
Yeah. I heard that too.
It's a 4.
So it also made AFI's 100 greatest love stories of all time, number 88.
Oh.
Casablanca was number 1. So
Period. Yeah, that's right.
There's some stuff on there. So
I'm there. The Princess Bride is currently available to stream with a subscription to Disney Plus or Fubo, or to purchase on Prime Video, Fandango at Home, and various places on DVD or Blu-ray. You can find Film Generations wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, and if you like our show, please tell your friends and rate and review it so others can find us as well. I'd like to thank our panelists, Jake Flowers, Kylee LaRue, Guy Lewis, and our co-host and producer and editor, David Tausik. Film Generations is an Electrocast production. Our executive producers are myself, Mark Netter, and my partner, Peter Rafelson. By coincidence, our next film features in the supporting role Rob Reiner's best friend since high school, Albert Brooks. But there the similarities end as Film Generations once again goes dark, traveling back to the dirty, decaying streets of 1976 New York City with a Paul Schrader screenplay that channels pulp novelist Mickey Spillane. Starring Sybil Shepherd, Harvey Keitel, a 12-year-old Jodie Foster, and in a breakout performance, Robert De Niro in the title role of this neo-noir that gave us the endlessly quoted line, "You talking to me?" It's Martin Scorsese's Taxi Driver. While our panel of young film lovers hail a ride on this harrowing tale of God's lonely man, or instead wish for a real rain to come and wash all the scum off the streets. Hop on in to find out on our next episode of Film Generations.
As you wish.
Sure.
Electrocast.
What if I told you you only have 12 hours to legally have sex?
To finding true love. Or just like a good guy.
From the director of Easy A and Anyone But You.
This whole thing is nuts.
There's nothing traditional about this night.
On August 7th, the clock starts on the summer's biggest rom-com.
I'm Owen.
Allie.
What about you and me?
Monica Barbaro, Callum Turner.
I've been told I'm a 7.
By who? Your mom?
Nah, she thinks I'm a 10.
One night only. Rated R. Only in theaters August 7th.
Hi, Ryan Reynolds here for Mint Mobile. Are you looking for a beach read this summer? May I suggest your big wireless bill? It's got suspense, mystery, a slightly flat emotional arc, and a shocking twist where you realize you've been overpaying the entire time. Fortunately, though, Mint's story is better. Every plan, $15 a month, even unlimited. That's it. Happy ending, 0 tears.
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.